Hello, and welcome back to our series on behavioral economist Dan Ariely's book, Predictably Irrational. In this episode, we will see how cheating is rationalized in the everyday world and discuss how it applies to our creative work. In his research, Ariely conducted an experiment on MIT communal refrigerators. When he put a six-pack of Coke in one of the fridges, all of the Cokes had vanished within 72 hours. When he left a plate of six $1 bills, however, no one ever took any of the money. Ariely also poses an interesting question to readers. Would you feel bad about taking a pen for your child? How about stealing 10 cents to pay for a pen for your child? The two are economically identical, but get very different reactions. The conclusion reached is that cheating is a lot easier when it is a step removed from the money. Ariely also conducted an experiment on Harvard students. He gave students a 50-question multiple-choice quiz. They would take the quiz, then transfer the answers to a Scantron sheet. The students received 10 cents for each correct answer. The results were as follows. When the proctor did the scoring of the quiz and handed out the reward, the control group, students scored 32.6 out of 50. When correct answers to the quiz were pre-marked on the Scantron, and students were instructed to give both the workbook and Scantron to the proctor, students scored 36.2 out of 50, essentially cheating on 3.6 questions. When correct answers to the quiz were pre-marked on the Scantron and students were told to shred their workbook and give the Scantron to the proctor, students scored 35.9 out of 50, essentially the same as the previous result. The final group had correct answers to the quiz pre-marked on the Scantron and were told to destroy both the workbook and Scantron. When done, students were directed to take the amount of money they had earned from a jar, with no supervision. The result was 36.1 out of 50, the same as the previous two. Ariely concluded that given the opportunity, many people will cheat. Similar experiments were conducted at MIT, Princeton, UCLA, and Yale with similar results. In addition, once tempted to cheat, students didn't seem to be influenced by the risk of getting caught. Even when they had no chance of getting caught, they still didn't become wildly dishonest. Ariely says that we care about honesty and want to be honest. The problem is that our internal honesty monitor is active only when we contemplate big transgressions, like grabbing an entire box of pens. For little transgressions, like taking a single pen, we don't even consider how these actions will reflect on our honesty. In addition, Ariely says that we have no idea how dishonest we actually are. In the business world, people who have their assistants turn in their expense reports rather than turning them in themselves are much more likely to cheat. In addition, business people are more likely to claim dubious expenses when they are traveling across the country than when they are in their home city, or even just returning from the airport. The overall conclusion reached is that cheating is not limited by risk. It is limited by our ability to rationalize the cheating to ourselves. So, as members of the creative community, let us make sure to hold ourselves to a high moral standard with all of the work we create. As creative people, we take pride in the work we produce because it is our own. We are driven and inspired by our innately imaginative spirit. Therefore, it should be in our own self-interest not to cheat or copy in our work, because we would then be denying ourselves the joy of creating original work. Regardless of the risk, we should not rationalize cheating, copying others' efforts, or acting in ways that do not serve to improve the creative community as a whole. Ariely asserts that we cannot do this and will inevitably rationalize cheating to ourselves. I challenge you to prove him wrong.